So, in lesson, we read that a little girl was quite afraid of her father. And one day, when she was beaten by him for a little mistake, not according to the girl, it was, nothing at all. But for father, it was a big mistake. So the girl was beaten for the same. And after that, she started feeling more scared of her father. And there was a very important line which she spoke. She said, "What did God make fathers for?" Because she had never seen her father showing love towards her. So she thought that why the fathers are made, because they don't love their children. This is her thinking at that time. So grandmother tried to console her at that time and asked her to sleep. So let's read from this passage. The McDonalds lived next door. They had 5 children. Looking through a gap in the fence, the little girl saw them playing tag. Tag is the game when one child tries to catch the other one. So she used to see that they are playing. What did she saw now? She see now the father with the baby Mao on his shoulders, 2 little girls hanging on to his coat pockets, ran round and round the flower beds, shaking with laughter. Whole family is so happy. McDonald's with his 5 children was playing. Once she saw the boys turn the hose on him. Hose is that water pipe. So once she saw that the boys opened the hose on their father, and he tried to catch them, laughing all the time. He was not at all angry. He tried to catch his sons while playing with water. So then it was decided. Now this is the a kind of assumption which was made by her at that time. What did the girl think at that time? She thought there were different sorts of fathers. Now earlier she believed that why the fathers are made, that because they don't love their children. But when she saw that her neighbor family, where father loves his children so much and also plays with them, then she decided that it's not like that, that why the fathers are made for. Now she came on the conclusion that there are different kinds of fathers. Suddenly, one day, now what happened one day, mother became ill and she and grandmother went to hospital. Now, there was neither mother nor grandmother at the home. The girl, the little girl was left alone in the house with Alice, the cook. That was all right in the daytime. Now, in the day, she was all alone. This is the picture you can see showing how McDonald's is playing with his children. So, and you can also see the girl here, little girl, how she is peeping through the gap of wall and watching the family enjoying. So, what happened one day? One day, mother was ill, and grandmother also had to accompany her. So, no one was at home. Daytime, she was with the cook, and of course, it was okay to be with her all the day. But while Alice was putting her to bed, she grew suddenly afraid. Now, the little girl was afraid of sleeping alone. "What will I do if I have a nightmare?" she asked. "I often have nightmares, and then Granny takes me into her bed. I can't stay in the dark. It all gets whispery." Now the girl shared her fear with Alice and said that what will I do if I have a nightmare? Because this girl is not so much normal, because she is quite afraid of her father, and obviously that puts a kind of negative impact on mind. So whenever she sleeps, she always means sometimes she has nightmares. And at that time, Granny is always available there, and she would sleep with Granny, and Granny can comfort her. But now, what will happen today, tonight? Because there is no one at home, neither mother nor grandmother. Then Alice said, "You just go to sleep, child," said Alice, pulling off her socks. "And don't you scream and wake your poor pa." Now, Alice, while going, told her that whenever you feel scared because of some nightmare and anything, don't scream, don't shout, otherwise, your father will wake up. But the same old nightmare came. The butcher with a knife and a rope, who came nearer and nearer, smiling that dreadful smile, but she could not move, could only stand still, crying out, "Grandma, Grandma." She woke, shivering, to see father beside her bed, a candle in his hand. Now, what happened? When she slept, she had the same nightmare which she usually had. And what was that nightmare? There was a butcher, you know very well, that who cuts the animals for making meat and all. So she saw that there was a butcher standing with a knife and rope, and he was coming nearer to the girl, and he was giving a dreadful, a scary smile, and she was not able to run at that time in the nightmare. She was not able to run, and she was just standing still and crying out, "Grandma, Grandma." And when the girl opened her eyes, she saw that there was, means near her bed, father was standing with a candle in his hand. So now, what's the matter? Now the man asked the girl. Now you can see that the girl was quite afraid when she had a nightmare, but she saw that her father was standing near her. Now, what happened? Father asked her, "What's the matter?" Now, she started telling in the same way, as she is quite afraid. And then she is telling her father, "Oh, a butcher, a knife, I want Granny." He blew out the candle, bent out down, and caught up the child in his arms, carrying her along the passage to the big bedroom. Now you can see here what would be the scene. The scene is like this: that little girl is scared. Father came in with a candle. Now when he found that the girl is so much afraid, he blew out the candle, bent down, picked her child in his arms, and he took the little girl to his bedroom. And it is a big bedroom, that is a bedroom of father. A newspaper was on the bed. Now, see what was the scene there. A newspaper was on the bed. A half smoked cigar was near his reading lamp. He put away the paper, means to clear the place for the girl, threw the cigar into the fireplace, then carefully tucked up the child. Tucked up means he put her in the bed, and then tucked up with the bed clothes, so that she is comfortable there, because it is quite cold. And then what did he do? He lay down beside her, half asleep, still with the butcher's smile all about her, it seemed. Now the girl is not fully awakened. She is still in half sleep. So still she can see in that nightmare. What is she able to listen and see at that time? She saw again butcher's smile. She crept close to him. Now she again felt scared, but she crept towards her father. She got close to her father, snuggled her head under his arm. Now you must have seen how parents love their children, how they make them feel comfortable. Now this father also tried to hide the head of girl under his arm to make her feel comfortable and held tightly to his shirt, and the girl tightly held the shirt of her father. Then the dark did not matter. Now see how beautiful this line is. It's means personally I feel this is so beautiful line because the girl is close to her father. Means now she is feeling so much secure and safe. And now for her darkness doesn't matter. Now darkness is not going to scare her because she has the support of her father. Now dark did not matter. She lay still. Now there was no disturbance for her. She was not troubled at all. She was comfortable. Here, rub your feet against my legs and get them warm. You must have seen that when it is extreme cold and the children get their feet and hands so cold, then parents rub them against their palms or their feet so that they can get warmth. So in the same way, the father said that you can rub your feet against my legs so that your feet don't remain cold, tired out. Now what happened? Now obviously the father is tired after a day long work. So he slept before the little girl. Now little girl was still awake, but father slept. A funny feeling came over her. Now listen to it very carefully. These things are going to be very beautiful. Now a funny feeling came over head. Now she started thinking in other way about her father. Now you will find it funny because earlier she was thinking that her father looks like a giant. Now she said, now see, it's quite opposite. Now she thinks, poor father, not so big after all. Now she thinks that father is not that much big as she thinks him to be, and with no one to look after him. My father is so poor, means poor in the sense of like he works so hard and there is no one to look after him. He was harder than grandmother, means touch of father is harder, touch of grandmother is soft one, as we have read earlier, and father's touch is so hard. So she thinks that father is harder than grandmother, but it was a nice hardness because it was giving her the sense of security, and every day he had to work. Now she has started thinking positively about her father, and she thinks that my father worked so hard all the day and was too tired to be a Mr. McDonald. He cannot be a father like Mr. McDonald because he is not left with that much energy in the evening so that he can play with me. She had torn up all his beautiful writing. Now she started thinking about that incident when she tore the pages of the speech, and she is thinking now that my father wrote beautifully and I tore it up. She stirred suddenly. Now she moved suddenly while father was sleeping and sighed. She had a deep breath. Now, what's the matter? Asked her father. Now the father woke up and asked her, what's the matter? Another dream? Now the girl said, oh, said the little girl, my head is on your heart. I can hear it going, means I can hear the beating of your heart. What a big heart you have got, father dear, and I can imagine how big your heart is. Now, this is the end, which is very beautiful one, and the thinking of girl is totally changed in the end of the story.